Howdy! What's happening, everybody? Wednesday, January 8th, 2024. My name is Kevin Smith. Thank you all so much for tuning into Loud Majority Live. I'm finally back. After some technical issues and some body issues that have plagued me over the last couple of days. I missed everybody. I want to thank everybody so much for all the well wishes and all the messages I got after another stint in the hospital yesterday, because apparently my body does not like me, which is just part of life, I guess. We had some tech issues on Monday, and now we're back. And that's really all that matters. So, obviously, as you guys can see, we're doing some studio upgrades, so you guys are gonna have to bear with me being very zoomed in for a little while. It's just something we're going to have to deal with. So I'm really close to everybody. Feel free to move your phones all the way back. But we're going to dive into all the news today because obviously horrifying scenes out of Southern California. Horrifying scenes. We're going to show you guys some of the video coming out of SoCal with these fires that appear to be some of the most devastating things, some of the most devastating weather events we've seen in the country in quite some time, as the Palisades fire is currently 0% contained, with hurricane force winds fueling them on. There's a lot of reasons why this is happening. A lot of reasons why it didn't have to happen. But at the moment, look, I'm not going to try to assign blame to people like Gavin Newsom, who are very clearly at fault. Right now, it is about the safety of the people of Southern California. I know a lot of people seem to want to bask in the glory of this. You know, they voted for this and they're all Democrats. No, I'm not playing that game. Also, Bill Maher makes an idiot Hollywood liberal look like an idiot Hollywood liberal in one of the funniest clips I think I've seen in quite some time. We're gonna laugh at him about that because it's funny. It's funny. Why the hell not? Based John Fetterman. John Fetterman continues to come around the mountain. There's going to be a new prime minister for our snowy friends to the north, and we are going to show you him as he gives what can only be described as a masterclass of dealing with dumbass reporters. I got so much I want to get to because I haven't been here for the last 2 days. So much is happening. Got to make sure we cover it all. Before we get started, guys, hit that thumbs up button. Share this video out all over the place. The numbers are big. They're coming in. Want to say hello to everybody watching live. Dana, what's happening? Dana, thank you for the @followers, as always. Let's see. Boom. Natalie, how are you? TD Hodges, what's happening? Bobby Driver, hello. Having a little bit of fun. How about Fetterman? Seems like he's getting smarter as he recovers. You know, here's the thing about Fetterman, and we're going to talk about this later on in the show. It's not so much that I think Fetterman is getting smarter. I think he's gotten, away from the wife. I think the wife is the biggest problem with John Fetterman. That's what I think. Yes, I had a little bit of a flare-up from a post-surgery complication. You might want to say. So yes, I was in the hospital yesterday. Thank you for Jeremy for filling in for me there. Let's dive into all of the news. So here's an update from the LA County Fire Chief, and so far they've confirmed 2 dead, 2 civilians have been killed in the Palisades fire. Here's the update from the LA Fire Chief.
I'm going to be giving an update on the Palisades fire in addition to the Eaton fire, although I am aware that we have 4 large fires burning in LA County at this time. The Palisades fire is located in both LA City and LA County. We are in unified command with the City of Los Angeles Fire Department in addition to CAL FIRE. We have well over 5,000 acres that have burned, and the fire is growing. We have no percentage of containment. We have an estimated 1,000 structures destroyed, and also no reported fatalities and a high number of significant injuries to residents who did not evacuate, in addition to first responders who were on the fire line. We have over 1,000 personnel assigned, and the cause of the fire is unknown. However, it is under investigation. For the Eaton Fire, it is located in both the Angeles National Forest, the Altadena area of LA County, and Pasadena. LA County is in unified command with both the Angeles National Forest and the Pasadena Fire Department. We have over 2,000 acres burning at this time, and the fire continues to grow with 0% containment. We have over 500 personnel assigned, and unfortunately, we have 2 reported fatalities to civilians. Unknown cause at this time, and we do have a number of significant injuries. We have over 100 structures destroyed, and the cause of the fire is unknown and under investigation.
Now, the cause of the fire is unknown, but it seems as though city mismanagement is one of the leading reasons why this fire cannot be put out. Now, look, I want to be clear. There's a lot of blame that's going to go around after this, and there's a lot of blame that should go around for the leadership of California. But I'm going to hold off on that until we can get this thing under control. It seems as though, look, I want everybody doing what they need to be doing, not worried about who's going to get the blame for it. I want this to stop. And the problem is that some of the scenes that we're getting out of SoCal right now are absolutely horrifying. I'm going to show you guys a video right now that I got to be honest with you might be one of the scariest things I've ever seen in my entire life. I cannot imagine being these guys. It's absolutely horrifying. Here it is. Here's a scene of 2 guys who appear to be trapped in their house with fire all around their home.
Hi. Just be okay. You're gonna be okay. Hi. You're gonna be okay. Oh shit. Yeah, don't worry about that, dude. Look at that. Oh shit.
Scary, fuck.
Yeah. Look. The plastic is gone, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck. Look at.
For the one already?
Yeah. Oh shit. So where's the gas?
Outside?
Okay, the gas is off right now. Hmm? No, don't open the window. Don't open. Don't open anything. Just stay over here. Fuck.
And guys, look, I want to be clear about a couple of things here. If your local elected officials, if your local mayors, if your local representatives or whatever, if they tell you to leave, if they tell you to evacuate, just go. I'm not saying listen to authority, and I'm not saying to trust any of these people, because you know I certainly don't. But if it gets to the point where someone is telling you to evacuate, please get out. Because as intense as that video is to see, it is not worth it to be the guy who filmed it. It's not worth it. It just isn't. I hope those 2 aren't the fatalities that the LA fire chief or the LA police chief, whoever that was before, was talking about, but I don't know how the hell those 2 guys are getting out of that house. I don't know how they're getting out of that house. So I pray they got out okay. I pray that look, there's going to be a lot of people dead, man. They're going to be finding bodies for a while. And there's going to be a lot of blame to go around. And a lot of it is deservingly so. And I want to make a couple other things very clear here. For any of the idiots on social media who are saying, don't politicize this. It's got nothing to do with politics. Yeah, it does. And also, I want to remind you of that the next time there's a school shooting and you somehow blame Republicans. All right? Forest management in California has been absolutely terrible for years. But it turns out this story goes even deeper than that. It turns out not only did Los Angeles County give surplus equipment to Ukraine 2 years ago, but it turns out California has been dumping wastewater, has been dumping reservoir water into the Pacific Ocean, and nobody really understands why. And because of that, firefighters are beginning to pull up to the scenes of some of these fires, turning on the fire hydrants, and there's no water in them.
My heart goes out, obviously, to the people with their homes, and I'm watching the small businesses around us go up in flames. This is people's livelihoods, so it's devastating. But what is most concerning to me is our first responders and our firefighters who are trying to battle this. There's no water in the Palisades. There's no water coming out of the fire hydrants. This is an absolute mismanagement by the city. It's not the firefighters' fault, but it's by the city. And I'm going to be very honest. We've got a mayor that's out of the country, and we've got a city that's burning, and there's no resources to put out fires. So if you look at your pictures, you don't see the firefighters there because there's nothing they can do. And it looks like we're in a third world country here. Mm-hmm. And we've got a lot of tough questions that we need to ask the mayor and the city council and our representatives and the county representatives. Why didn't you work to mitigate this? What was your brush mitigation program? I heard you earlier talking about it's been dry because there hasn't been rain. That's not the biggest problem here. The brush up in these hills that are controlled by the city and the county, I would bet you that if they haven't been handled, mitigated, pruned, removed for probably 30 or 40 years. This was a disaster waiting to happen. And what's predictable is preventable. And who's paying the price are all of these people in their homes and their businesses tonight. Now, we'll rebuild, but the majority of this community is going to have a tough time rebuilding their lives.
They're going to have a tough time rebuilding their lives. Also, we have to make sure we bring this up, because if you've been watching this show for quite some time, you know that there are no people I hate on planet Earth more than insurance salesmen. It turns out much of the fire insurance in this area has just been denied. Their claims just got dropped. Their fire insurance just said, yeah, we can no longer cover you. Insurance salesmen are the worst people on planet Earth. They really are. And anybody who's ever had to deal with an insurance broker or an insurance company knows exactly what I'm talking about. They're the worst people on the planet. Act of God, my ass. My ass. Guys, hit that thumbs up button. We're going to keep going on with this. There's going to be more updates on this throughout the day, but I do have a few more stories that I want to make sure that I get to, because, there was so much I wanted to cover over the course of the last several days that I didn't get a chance to. Once again, guys, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up button. Share the video out all over the place. Let's pop the live chat up onto the screen. Where are we? Boom, there we go. Insurance is a fraudulent scam. Yes, it is. If only I knew an insurance salesman that I could have him on the show and talk about how big of a scam it is. I would love to say that to PBD. I would love to ask him why it is I pay into insurance for 15 years and then get into a car accident and then you raise my rates. Isn't that why I paid you in the first place? Whether it's flood insurance in Florida, car insurance in Queens, or fire insurance in California. Doesn't really matter where it is, the same sort of thing's gonna happen. But hey, Allstate, make sure you have enough money to sponsor the Sugar Bowl as opposed to paying out some of these claims. Just saying. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Ginger Pagano, how are you? Maureen, how are you? Yeah. Yes, please get an insurance guy on, Kevin. Does anybody watch? Eli, are you in the chat right now? You know any insurance guys, Eli? Just saying. I've gotten into it with him before. I've gotten into it with many an insurance and you know what else is funny about insurance salesmen? Is that, like, they think they're accomplishing something when really they're just robbing people. Marie, how are you? Welcoming everybody in. Ricky Coates, what's happening? Goose, well, shout out to the McGroin crew, as always. Hello, hello, hello. Shit. Let's keep on moving and grooving here. So, Donald Trump caused a bit of a kerfuffle over the last couple of days. A bit of a bit of a problem over the last couple of days when he continues to suggest that we purchase Greenland. It is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Because I got to be honest with you, whether it's Greenland or Canada, we'll get into the Panama Canal, because I think the Panama Canal is different than the other two. But Donald Trump continuing to talk about annexing Canada and buying Greenland is one of the funniest things I've ever saw. Why? Because nobody cared 48 hours ago. I don't want Canada to be part of America. It's filled with Democrats. We don't need any more hockey players. We don't need any more people in the streets wearing denim on denim. But it seems as though he has gotten Donald Trump has pissed off the upper echelons of the Canadian government in a very serious way. But he has not only pissed off the Canadians, but he's pissed off the Danish, which I love. Denmark, who has control over Greenland, has come out and said that Greenland is not for sale. To which Donald Trump said, well, we could just take it anyway. I want to be very clear. I am a huge fan of American colonialism. I think we should bring it back. I think we should absolutely use the resources from all over the planet. But we're getting a unique and unlikely bit of support from one person in particular when it comes to the Greenland acquisition. And that would be the ogre himself, John Fetterman, who every time this guy goes on TV, it's only a matter of time till he becomes a Republican. Scott Presler the other day suggested he join the Republican Party, and he didn't seem like he was all too upset about it. Here is based John Fetterman coming out with a pretty logical reason on why Greenland would be a great acquisition.
These parts. Go ahead. Can I talk about like there's a lot of talk about Greenland, for example. Now, and I know there's a lot of freakouts, you know, and of course I would never support taking it by force. But I do think it's a responsible conversation if they were open to acquiring it and, you know, whether just buying it outright. I mean, if anyone think that's bonkers, it's like, well, remember the Louisiana purchase? Oh, I think Alaska was a great deal too. $50 million, I think it was. It was referred to as Seward's Folly, and now that was Alaska now. So, I mean, you know, open to having all kinds of conversations as well. And now, I don't think it's not helpful to freak out, but some things might work out, some may not, but that's part of an ongoing dialogue. But he hasn't even taken office in 2 weeks, and, you know, we really need to pace ourselves if we're going to freak out over every last tweet or every last conversation or press conference. Because, but
That's good. That's a good one, John. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like, we are here to work together.
Yeah.
And some things we can agree or disagree, but I think that's.
John Fetterman's right. Democrats are going to die of exhaustion if they freak out over every Donald Trump tweet. And I think to some degree, that might be the point. Let them lose their mind. Let them keep going. To hell with it. Or come out and make a valid argument on why it's something we should probably talk about. Purchasing Greenland. Now, I don't know what Greenland has. I don't know if it's natural resources. I don't know any of that. But you know what? It's a conversation that could be had later on down the road. Donald Trump also caused a bit of a kerfuffle when he, I love it, when he suggested that we renamed the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America, to which the president of Mexico is very upset about that. Now, we're going to make fun of Justin Trudeau in a minute. But I want to be clear. In North America, there are few places I care about less. There are a few people I care about less, I should say, than what the president of Mexico has to say. A person whose country is in shambles. Sammy Yoakum, yes, pray for California. A person who runs a country that is in complete and utter shambles is run by the drug cartels and has spent the totality of its time ripping off the United States. So if the president of Mexico is very, very upset that we're renaming it the Gulf of America, she can go ahead and kiss my... Finish it yourself. But that is not the only news out of North America over the last couple of days. The other news is that Canada will soon be losing Fidel Castro Jr. Fidel Castro Jr. is something I would never say. He has been the Prime Minister of Canada for more than 9 years at this point. And he has announced that he will be stepping down. He will be stepping down from the Liberal leader of his party and from the Prime Ministership of Canada. Here is Justin Trudeau.
I've also had a chance to reflect and have had long talks with my family about our future. Throughout the course of my career, any success I have personally achieved has been because of their support and with their encouragement. So last night over dinner, I told my kids about the decision that I'm sharing with you today. I intend to resign as party leader, as Prime Minister, after the party selects its next leader through a robust, nationwide, competitive process. Last night, I asked the President of the Liberal Party to begin that process. This country deserves a real choice in the next election, and it has become clear to me that if I'm having to fight internal battles, I cannot be the best option in that election.
Look, yeah, he's destroyed his country. Yeah, he's a proud male feminist. Yeah, he's been seen in blackface like 200 times. Yeah, he's the son of Fidel Castro. But is there a less inspiring human being that has ever lived than Justin Trudeau? I mean, just a sort of weak-ankled, like can't really build anything, probably can't hang up a TV. Just soy bitch. He's just a bitch. There's no, like, just a little bitch. There's no other way to say it. I don't want to curse, but, like, he's just a pansy. With that voice. Like, he's dainty. Men should not be dainty, okay? Like, he's got the fragility of a wine glass. Like, if Justin Trudeau ever fell down, he might die. Like, he would shatter into a million pieces. Now, there's another man in Canada whose name I am going to continue to say wrong. It's not out of disrespect. It's because I said it wrong once, and now because I've said it wrong once, I'm going to keep saying it wrong because it's stuck in my head. He is the leader of the Conservative Party. And Polymarket has him at some 80% chance of being the next Prime Minister of Canada. He is awesome. We've showed him on the show several times. His name is, I'm going to screw it up, Pierre Poilievre. I like it. I like it. Sounds like a character in a Victor Hugo novel. Pierre Poilievre. Poilievre. Whatever. They're electing Jean Valjean to be the Prime Minister of Canada next. First off, I want to be clear. He is hilarious. Above all else. He is genuinely hilarious. In just a minute, I'm going to show you guys Pierre Poilievre, whatever the hell his name is. I'm going to show you him just making an idiot reporter look stupid. And this is how you handle dumb reporters. We're going to show you that in 1 minute. Before we do that, guys, head on over to lfatv.us. That's lfatv.us. That's your home base, your mothership, your landing pad for all things LFA-TV related. Check out the LFA TV store. And while you guys are there, consider becoming monthly donors over here at lfatv.us so that we can keep bringing you guys the sort of content you guys want. This is user-generated content, and we can't do it without your help. So head on over to lfatv.us. That's lfatv.us. Before we show you Pierre Poilievre, what's going on, everybody? I want to say hello. David in the chat. Sammy Yoakum, how are you? Who else? Dot. What's going on? Let's see. R-Star, what is happening? Hazel Kitty, how are you? Once again, guys, we are redoing the studio, so you'll forgive me for the zoomed-in look that we're getting. Make sure you guys are hitting that thumbs up button. Share the video out all over the place. How's everyone doing? Once again, I want to thank the boys for filling in for me over the last couple of days. Jeremy for taking the reins when I had a little bit of tech problems, and for filling in for me yesterday when I had a little bit of an emergency. Good to see you back. Glad surgery went well. Yes, the surgery went well, apparently, according to the doctor. We'll see. You guys are liking the flag background? The flag background might stay. We shall see. Hello, Loretta. How are you? Teresa on X said it's pronounced Poilievre. Teresa on X told me it's pronounced Poilievre. You see, I'm not being disrespectful. Normally, when I mispronounce people's names, like the leader of Hamas, I do that on purpose to be disrespectful because I don't like them. But the problem with Pierre Poilievre is that I said it wrong once, and now that's what's stuck in my head. So, I don't want to be a dick to our syrup-drinking, denim-wearing, moose-riding, snowy friends to the north. But as I throw out every Canadian stereotype on planet Earth, I'm sure Pierre Poilievre, I'm sure Pierre will not be too upset because he's Canadian and he's nice about everything. Another stereotype. What are you going to do? So here is the soon-to-be new Prime Minister of Canada just dismantling an idiot woke reporter while eating an apple. And I want to be clear, guys. The fact that he does this while he's eating an apple, focus on the apple. Because I think that's what makes this so damn funny.
On the topic, I mean, in terms of your sort of strategy currently, you're obviously taking the populist path.
I mean, this guy just can't be bothered. He wants nothing to do with this guy. Why am I here? That's the face he makes for the next 2 minutes.
What does that mean?
Well, appealing to people's more emotional levels, I would guess. I mean, certainly you tap very strong ideological language quite frequently.
Like what?
left wing, this and that, right wing. I mean, it's that type of ideological thing.
I never really talk about left
But
or right.
anyways, a lot of
I don't
people
really believe in that.
Okay, a lot of people would say that you're simply taking a page out of the Donald Trump book.
Like which people would say that?
Well, I'm sure a great many Canadians, but
like who?
I don't know who, but
well, you're the one who asked the question, so you must know somebody.
Okay, I'm sure there's some out there, but anyways, the point of this question is, I mean, why should Canadians trust you with their vote, given not just the sort of ideological inclination in terms of taking the page out of Donald Trump's book, but
what are you
also
talking about? What page? What page? Can you give me a page? Give me the page. You keep saying
in terms of turning things quite dramatically in terms of Trudeau and the left wing and all of this. I mean, you make quite a it's quite a play that you make on it. So I'm
not sure. I don't know what your question is.
Then forget that. Why should Canadians trust you with their vote?
Common sense.
Okay.
Common sense for a change. We're going to make common sense common in this country. We don't have any common sense in the current government. The guy prints $600 billion, grows our money supply by 32% in 3 years. That's growing the money 8 times faster than the economy. No wonder we have the worst inflation in 4 decades. I'm going to cap spending, cut waste, so that we can balance the budget and bring down inflation and interest rates. You'll want to be able to pay your mortgage again? You want to be able to afford rent? Then you have to vote for Pierre Poilievre, because I'm the only one with a common sense plan that will bring back the buying power of your paycheck.
Now, that is a masterclass on how to deal with disingenuous liberal hack reporters. What do you mean? I'm taking a page out of Donald Trump's book. Which page? Many Canadians are saying, which Canadians? That is how you handle it. That is how you do it. I could run clips all day long of Pierre Poilievre. Now I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. Not really the damn point. The guy is genuinely hilarious. He has called out Justin Trudeau in Parliament, in the Canadian Parliament, for that time that Justin Trudeau may or may not have slept with one of his students when he was a high school teacher. May or may not have. We're not really sure. One of the funniest people. Hey, look, Canada needs help. Now, Pierre, I'm just going to call him Pierre. That's Pierre. Like, I feel like he should be painting something somewhere. He said that Canada will not become the 51st state. And look, it's not going to happen, okay, guys? We're not going to invade Toronto. All right, it's not going to happen. Some people want it to happen. I kind of want it to happen just because liberals seem like they hate it. So because all the right people hate it, that means I kind of like it. It's going to upset the Krasensteins, so I'm gonna support it. So Justin Trudeau has resigned. Pierre Poilievre is going to be the next Prime Minister of Canada. Very nice. See, look, Justin Trudeau leaving is more than just. It is more than just good news for Canada. From a global standpoint, we're going to talk about what the resignation of Justin Trudeau means in 1 second. Before we do that, Mike Lindell.
You're still looking good.
I'm still feeling good. I've got all your MyPillow products. Mattress topper, bed sheets, MyPillows, towels, slippers, blankets, sleepwear, dog beds.
Whoa, Charles. Everyone now can get MyPillow products at huge discounts at MyPillow.com. That's right. Now's the time to go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our 3-in-1 sale. We're bringing you exciting new products, overstock specials, and closeout deals you won't find anywhere else. For example, when you buy one of our brand new MyPillow 2.0s, you get another one absolutely free. And with our overstock sale, you save 50% on our luxurious Giza Dream bed sheets. That's as low as $29.99 for the best sheets ever. And with our biggest closeout special, you get our all-season slippers for only $35, or our sandals and slides for just $25. Quantities are limited, and once they're gone, they're gone.
Guys, head on over to MyPillow.com, promo code LOUD. That's MyPillow.com, promo code LOUD, for up to 80% off everything on the website. That's MyPillow.com, promo code LOUD. Before we keep moving and grooving here, guys, hit that thumbs up button. If you're watching on Rumble, make sure you're following the page, rumble.com/LFATV. If you're watching on Facebook, do me a favor, guys. Hit the @ button, tag followers so that they know that, so your followers know that we are live as well. Apparently, we are coming to the end of Facebook censorship, according to Mark Zuckerberg. I don't believe him, but that's what he says. So we'll roll the dice and see what we got. A Facebook page of 47,000 people, and nobody knows that we're live ever. So, Mark, if you want to change something, maybe change that. Just saying. Just saying. So what does the end of Justin Trudeau mean for the world as a whole? He was the last of the sort of neoliberal uniparty blobs that occupy their current position in the G7. Now, with that being said, it is not perfect, but on this show we talk a lot about the rise of populism all over the world. Gert Wilders, Narendra Modi, Nigel Farage, Georgina Maloney, Javier Milei, Donald Trump, and now Pierre Poilievre. Globalism is dying, and it's dying a rapid death. And all I can say is hell yeah. All I can say is hell yes. More of this. More of this is better. I'm happy that someone like Pierre wants to put Canada first rather than the globe. Just as I am happy that Donald Trump wants to put America first as opposed to the globe. Let me get a sip. So, there are a few more things that I want to make sure that I get to that we didn't get a chance to cover over the last couple of days. Obviously, the certification happened for the presidential race on January 6th. Some people were very butthurt about that. Some people, oh, look, Democrats didn't storm the Capitol. Meh. Well, yeah, that's because you stormed the Capitol last time. But that's not really the part of this that I want to make sure that I get to. I want to make sure that I get to the part where Sunny Hostin, the illustrious, the brilliant Sunny Hostin, compared January 6th to the Holocaust. I mean, sometimes these Democrats will say things out loud, and you just like, what, like, how big is your ass that you pulled something like this out of?
I think we need to find moral clarity, in this country. And I just remember after January 6th, you had someone like Mitch McConnell placing the blame on January 6th where it belonged, squarely on Donald Trump's shoulders. Mm-hmm. And then you started seeing people backtrack that and losing their moral center. You had Condoleezza Rice, I believe, on this very show saying, we need to move on from January 6th. Mm-hmm. I say no. You don't move on, because January 6th was an atrocity. It was one of the worst moments in American history. And when you think about the worst moments in American history, like World War II, things that happened, like the Holocaust, chattel slavery, we need to never forget, because past becomes prologue if you forget any race.
I want to ask you.
Yeah.
Okay, a couple of things, Sunny Hostin. Just to be clear, first off, January 6th was nothing like the Holocaust. That's number one. Number two, you said January 6th was one of the worst days in American history. The Holocaust is not part of American history. It didn't happen here. It happened over there. What the hell does that even mean? It just isn't. Happened in Europe. It's part of European history. That would be like someone saying one of the darkest days in European history was 9/11. What? No, so not only does this idiot not have any perspective when it comes to the history of the world, but she also has no perspective when it comes to geography. But where would we be without the illustrious idiots on The View? Where would we be? I'll tell you where we would be. We would be on Bill Maher's podcast, because Bill Maher, and I know many people do not like Bill Maher, and that's fine. I watch him every Friday he's on. I always have. I've been a big fan of his for a long time. Some people don't like that. What are you going to do? But Bill Maher on his Club Random podcast had on John Cryer. Now, for those of you who don't know who John Cryer is, he was the little bitch on 2.5 Men. And then there was like a 35-year gap in his career. But before that, he was the guy from Pretty in Pink. So, he's in a John Hughes movie. He's just like us. He was in Pretty in Pink. Everybody, we loved 1987. It was great. John Cryer, one of the angriest, most useless liberals in Hollywood, goes on Bill Maher, and they're discussing the election loss of Kamala Harris. And he's so close. He's so close to figuring out why they lost. He's like right there, and then all of a sudden he just he had a turnaround.
You don't want to talk about that politics at all.
Well,
I shouldn't, because I really started this podcast to get away from it. So you're right. I kind of fucked up.
Yes.
But I don't know. Sometimes people say things that trigger me. And of course, we just had the election, and I feel like my conscience is very clear. I warned everybody about Trump, and then I warned them about what would get him reelected, which was stupid wokeness, which is what got him reelected. So I feel my conscience is very clear that I told you, and I told you, and I told you, and I lost fans for it. Lots of the super woke that like I'm not woke enough for them. Yeah, but like I think I had it right. Like that kind of stuff is what lost the election for the Democrats. It's in all.
Maybe part of it. I don't know. I think a lot.
They have polling on it.
I think it's inflation. I think Americans hate inflation.
That certainly was
They hate
part
inflation.
of it.
They hate riots.
Yeah. They hate riots. They hate inflation. And then he can't not give his ode to the woke idiots that Bill Maher is talking about. So let's go back. Let's go back like a minute here. Let's go back a second here.
I think it's inflation. I think Americans hate inflation.
That certainly was
They hate
part
inflation.
of it.
They hate riots, and they hate black women.
They don't.
And they hate trans people.
Oh God, John, we're not
Dude,
gonna.
They just spent hundreds of millions
They
of dollars
don't hate
demonizing trans people, and that's disgusting.
Yeah,
That
we
is-
shouldn't talk politics.
Okay, we shouldn't.
I
We
mean,
shouldn't.
this is-
Great. We don't have to.
No, and this, I mean, I have this kind of relationship with people on the right also who like, yeah, it's just going to take so long to even have this discussion.
Mhm.
And I want, just like I would like to deprogram them, I feel like there's things that don't get in your bubble on the left that I would love to deprogram, but it's probably not the place to do it.
Yeah.
But,
you can try.
And here's where I think it's funny. I love that Bill Maher thinks that he is the center. Oh, there's deprogramming on the right, but there's also some deprogramming on the left. No, Bill, you are not the center. You are not the one who dictates where the deprogramming needs to happen. But when you're talking to someone like John Cryer, who thinks that he's like he was so close. He was so close. And look, I love Pretty in Pink. All right, John Hughes, greatest director of my lifetime. Breakfast Club and Home Alone and Dennis the Menace and all those Brat Pack movies. Come on, everybody loved St. Elmo's Fire, most underrated one. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, great. That was like the late 80s, boom, it was phenomenal. And then they turn into these assholes, like Molly Ringwald, who says that the Breakfast Club was problematic because there weren't any black people in it. No, it's not. But John Cryer, yeah, he was Ducky in Pretty in Pink. So now he knows how Americans feel about trans people. 45 years later. I want to be clear. Pretty in Pink came out 3 years before I was born. For that one person out there watching, you know who you are. Thanks for the soup. But John Cryer wasn't done yet. Here's more of that crap.
Off, ladies and gentlemen. Off, ladies and gentlemen. You ready?
You're asking too much often to rewrite, like, the idea that...
I had to rip the clip from Timcast because I couldn't find the original. So shout out to everybody from Timcast for finding the clip.
When someone is born, there is a default setting for humans, male and female. Not everyone is. Now, a real conservative would say, no, everyone is. I would never say that.
But
I think what a liberal says
there are chromosomal
is,
spectrums.
There's a default.
There's
a default setting.
Hermaphrodism.
But then there's a whole other section, and that's great, and we should protect those people. But don't pretend there isn't also a default setting. And you can't rewrite the world so that every baby is just a jump ball. Oh, it could be anything. No, if it's got a dick, it's probably a boy. And if it's not, we'll deal with that. We'll deal with that in a compassionate way.
Well, yeah.
But we'll also be apprised of the idea that children don't know shit about anything. Yes, sometimes it is obvious, and we should address it that way. But, I mean, kids, Christ almighty. I mean, the idea that I would, as a child, would have had to have dealt with something like this.
Well, again, the people that go through it don't say this is the life I want. No parent wants to be in the midst of those choices. It's terrifying.
Some kids these days actually just do want to be trans.
I
it's
don't
cooler,
agree.
John.
I don't
it's
agree.
a thing.
Who cares if you agree?
I don't agree. I don't agree with Bill Maher.
I know.
That's the name of the show tonight.
Well, your eyes are not open to that.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
There are some kids.
Yeah.
Especially, why is it like so much more prevalent, like here than Indiana?
Well,
are they suppressing it there? Maybe a little.
Yeah, there's a societal suppression, but it's like left-handedism. Left-handed.
Oh, it's a terrible example.
Worst
argument ever.
It's like left-handedism. No, it isn't. But liberals like John Cryer will continue to dominate the news cycle. And that's why we will continue to win. Yes. There are a very, very, very unbelievably aggressively small, like you almost can't get the percentage, small number of people who are born with something like Klinefelter syndrome. Absolutely that exists. There's also some people who are born with 11 fingers. But if you walk down the street and you ask somebody, how many fingers does a human being have? They're going to say 10. Because we do not approach the world from the perspective of the marginal in order to make the argument for the majority. Idiots. Genuine idiots we're dealing with. But that is not the only place, of course, we are dealing with stupid people. And but we got to go back. I've been wanting to play this clip for the last couple of days because at this point, I think CNN only exists to make Scott Jennings out to be a rock star. That's the only reason why I think CNN exists. That's it. Before we get to that, though, guys, head on over to loudmajorityusa.com. That's loudmajorityusa.com. Sign up for the newsletter. Check out our shop. There's so many goodies over here. Check this stuff out, guys. Boom. We keep updating this stuff every day. The Trump inauguration t-shirt right here. This thing has been selling like hotcakes, okay? Hot cakes. Boom. Every color. Gray, brown. Look at this. Phenomenal stuff. We got it in a very intense green. Purple. Some sort of salmon. For all of our dainty men out there, we call the salmon the Justin Trudeau edition. Pick yours up at loudmajorityusa.com. Use promo code LFA to get 20% off everything on the website. That's promo code LFA to get 20% off everything on the website. Pick those up today so that you'll have it for your inauguration party. But as I said, CNN basically just exists at this point to make Scott Jennings look awesome. Here is, this is a wild moment. Scott Jennings beats up on Bakari Sellers so bad that Kate Baldwin, I think that's her name, Kate Baldwin, actually tells him to zip it in the middle of the segment.
Here is interesting, and you can see the evolution. You can play all the sound bites from the days after when you heard Republicans blaming Donald Trump, some being short of saying he should be impeached, saying he should be held accountable. And 4 years later, we are here. It is a stunning political comeback attributed to how Trump played it afterward, how Democrats played it afterward, or something else?
Well, I think it's some mixture of everything. But to me, the big message is that in the United States, the people decide. And because of the disastrous 4 years that came after Donald Trump, the people decided to return Donald Trump to power. And that's fundamentally what happened. They looked at what happened on January the 6th. They looked at all the things Democrats claimed about Donald Trump. And they also analyzed every single decision that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris made. And they delivered Donald Trump a convincing victory 4 years later.
It is tough, though, Scott, because when you say the people decide, that's what people tried to make sure didn't happen on January 6th, was allowing the people to decide.
And the machinery turned. It was a terrible...
The lack of acknowledgement of how bad it was in the aftermath.
I mean, I think a great many people have acknowledged it, but also what happened that day. The machinery turned. Joe Biden became the president. He had one of the worst terms of any U.S. president, and then the people scrambled back to Donald Trump. That is the history of what happened.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I look at today, Donald Trump is inheriting one of the best economies that a president has inherited in a very long period of time. If you look at the fact that something like net migration at the border is lower than it was even before Donald Trump took office. If you want to look at the stock market, you're looking at the stock market right now.
I'm
not even finished running it down yet.
This is the first time. The border needs to be secured further, and this number can be accurate.
But this is the first time. This is the first time in dozens of years that a president has actually inherited a government where we don't have soldiers overseas in active combat zones. So, I mean, let's actually look at where we are. We actually, or he is actually inheriting a government right now that is much better than any predecessor he's had before.
Okay. I mean, I recognize that was the argument that was made during the election, and I would also like to recognize that the American people soundly rejected that argument. We do have American troops in forward locations all over the world.
Not in combat zones.
But they are in hot spots. I mean,
but not in combat zones.
We just had an American soldier die not too long ago in the Middle East.
Correct. And they're protecting our freedom every day.
Trying to fix Joe Biden's $300 million public relations peer for Gaza. I mean, the reality is migration was a disaster. Immigration was a disaster for 3.5 years. And they tried to window dress it for the last 6 months. Inflation was a disaster for all 4 years. The economy is not working for most people. That's why Democrats lost the election, and that's why they're going back to Trump.
Democrats lost the election. Nobody's arguing that. I mean, that's what the argument was 4 years ago when Donald Trump was filing lawsuits and they were raiding the White House. What we are saying, though, is that prices are going down. What I am saying is murder rates.
Going down.
They actually are going down.
Inflation is still
plateauing.
It is decreasing in rate, which is the entire goal.
But
are
are prices going down or not? Just to be clear. No, they're not.
They are down from their sky high rates. Yes.
No.
Let's move on. Next up for
we were just arguing over combat zones. I don't know where we are this morning.
You can argue.
You guys are trying to paint a picture of a country that doesn't exist.
I'm not painting anything. I'm painting. Stop talking. That's what I'm painting.
I want to be very clear. You have me on your show and you tell me to stop talking and to zip it. I'm going to tell you to go yourself. They try to paint this rosy picture. First off, CNN, want to know why nobody watches your show anymore? It's because you have people like Bakari Sellers on who just made shit up for a minute. No troops overseas. False. Net migration is lower than it was when Donald Trump came into office. False. First off, he said that they stormed the White House on January 6th. Also false. It got so bad that Kate Baldwin had to tell Scott Jennings just to stop talking because Bakari Sellers was getting beat up so badly. Inflation is down. The economy is great. None of that is true. Maybe in Bakari Sellers' world it is, but not in reality. Guys, before we wrap up today, I want to wrap up on a positive note. I want to give a shout out to Team America. I want to give a shout out to the, Team America at the World Junior Hockey Championships. The United States, I don't know, I guess you don't walk off in hockey, but had an overtime goal, winner take all. Here that was.
Lead pass for Stiga. Here comes Teddy Stiga. Oh, Stiga shoots, scores! Teddy Stiga, golden goal! And the United States has won back-to-back World Junior gold medals for the first time in its history. Teddy Stiga's first goal of this World Junior Hockey Championship is the overtime winner. Just like that.
That was the World Junior Championship against Finland, not Canada. Excuse me. And why do I play this for you guys? Because as we wrap up today's show, the American hockey team celebrated in the only way an American team should celebrate. Guys, we're going to end it with this because I'm in a good mood. You're in a good mood. Here is the World Junior Champions USA men's hockey celebrating their championship. I'll see you guys tomorrow.